What's all that racket going on? Is that our neighbors?
They're probably thinking the same thing about us.
Oh, it's you! Okay, so we got like an hour or two before our flight. We're just packing up right now, the last few things. Unfortunately, we have to downsize already because it's domestic flights, we can only take so much weight. I suggested the stroller. That didn't go over well. So we have to get rid of some clothes, shirts, a couple of Georgia's things, and these two stuffies. She's not really that attached to them, so it's not a big deal. We won't even tell her. It's okay. You have other toys. We're gonna leave them for the cleaners because they have kids as well, so they can play with these guys.
But he said he's still not convinced.
George, are we going to the beach? George, are we going to the beach? George, are we going to the beach? Hi. Did I scare you?
Or like, why would you aggravate it?
George, are we going to the beach?
But he also
Let's go to the beach.
Fiber. So anything
So
that's
see you guys on the island.
when you cook it or sauce.
So hey guys, we finally made it to the islands.
Finally.
Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet leaving Ho Chi Minh City or
More sweet.
I don't know, after 2 weeks, did you have enough time there?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Not that it was bad or anything. It's just, well, we only expected to be there for a week, and then it kind of dragged on after that.
After 2 weeks, it was kind of, we were ready to leave. There was a lot to do in the city, but we were ready for some beach time and some downtime. So yeah, we packed up our place and off to the airport, and we had a Jetstar flight. I think it was our first Jetstar flight I've ever been on.
Yeah, and it was really fast. Like, how long was it? 40 minutes?
Yeah, 40 minutes. By the time we were up in the air, we were already descending down. I don't know, it was like kind of cool being at the airport too. I've noticed the last couple airports, like from leaving home, especially in Edmonton, and then every airport since, and even this last one, like I love airports, you love airports.
Yeah.
Some people don't like airports, some people get kind of annoyed or they get like irritated or just stressed out because airports are trying to find your gate and your terminal and stuff, but I think airports are sweet. They're like
as long as you get there and you're not late, because then
if you're prepared, but like they're just cool. Like we even try to find on some of our journeys, like we try to pick a new airport where we have a layovers because we've never been there before, and we always say they're like a portal to a new world. Like you don't know where you're going. There's so much different energy going on.
I always want to know like where everybody's going.
Like where's that person going in the world right now? And the emotions. There's like so many people that are either crying because someone's saying goodbye at the airport, or then there's like tears of happiness because people are arriving. They haven't seen each other in a long time. Anyway, airports are really sweet. And maybe this is just me thinking this, but I feel like Georgia gets that same energy too. Like every time we've brought her to an airport, she gets like an energy burst. She's always like wanting to get out of her stroller or like tugging away at her strap or her carrier, and like she just wants to run. Like airports are so open, And
Yeah,
she
I
just
think she
wants,
sees all the space and it's like,
yeah.
put me down, put me down.
And she's already getting like a really cool personality anyway. It's like really evolving since she's been on this trip. I
Yeah.
find like it's just obviously every day she's changing, but
She's like silly. Like,
yeah, it
she
gets
just-
like giddy and
Yeah, and like likes to do things and she looks at you like, is that funny?
yeah,
Like-
and she's like always meeting new little people, like little friends, and
Yeah.
they're like waving to each other. They can't talk to each
Yeah.
other, but
And she's mesmerized by kids. Literally at the last airport, there's this little girl doing circles around her and George was just like,
and she almost bumped into her, didn't she?
yeah, she almost tackled her
Yeah.
like 3 times and then I tackled the kid.
Good mom. Then we took Jetstar. It was cool. It was like they had like a little separate seatbelt for Georgia. They strapped her in
Yep.
just for during takeoff. And then after that, she was awesome. She was like sitting on the table tray or the fold down tray.
Stomping, doing like a little jig.
Yeah,
on
like
it.
dancing. And she even knows how to dance. Like you say the word dance and she starts to do a little jig too,
Oh,
right?
yeah. So cute. So cute. So we landed in Phu Quoc. Our little Airbnb dude picked us up, which was really good. We didn't even have to think about a taxi.
We were only 6 minutes from the airport. It's cool about islands.
Yeah.
It's like everything's so close. It was like a good little spot. They were called Lotus Apartments or Lotus
Yeah.
Bungalows or something.
They're so cute.
Yeah, they're just kind of like a remote little section. It's where we stayed was called Long Beach, which on the island is kind of the main popular beach that everyone goes to. It was maybe like a 10-minute walk from our place
Yeah.
to the beach.
Yep. But the beach was like what you see on those fishing shows when they're just like torrential waves and
Yeah, yeah. I guess there's different weather seasons in Vietnam and in the south right now. We're on that side of the island, which is I guess the west side. It was more choppy.
what side is it?
West side?
You're supposed to do like that.
I can't
I
hold
don't
my
know.
fingers without doing that.
We went to the pool by the beach instead.
Definitely not Georgia friendly.
Or
beach.
me friendly.
Or anyone
Nana, or you
friendly.
friendly. No. Anyways, but there's another beach called Sao Beach, which was about 30 minutes away from our place, which was beautiful. Like literally so beautiful. Perfectly calm, like so clear. So clear.
Almost like the bluey turquoise water that you see, the white sand looks like flour. Like it was beautiful.
And so calm. Like literally George was walking in the shallow part.
Yeah.
No problems.
And this was Georgia's first time ever at a beach. She's never seen the ocean before.
Yeah.
Or I guess she's touched sand, but
Yeah.
never.
She was so excited.
Yeah, it was a cool moment.
Maybe mom and dad were more excited, but it was so good. She
Yeah,
loved
she
it.
totally was like running around. Like I think she dug the beach more than she dug pools.
I think
she
she
loves
dug the
pools.
sand. So we were at Sao Beach for the entire day actually. We all got burned,
Yeah.
except Georgia. She has her little, I'm sure you guys have seen it in photos, her little like one-piece wetsuit thing on. So she has really cute tan lines. It's like 1 inch on her wrist and like from her knees down are brown and the rest of her little body is glowing.
The coolest farmer's tan ever.
Yeah, yeah.
So Georgia, because obviously the beach was so overwhelming for her and so exciting, she had a couple beach naps. So we took
Yeah.
advantage and had like maybe a 10-minute date.
Yeah, those are our dates these days.
Yeah, it was a little swing date.
Yeah, became swingers.
So the Peach is napping right now on the beach. Mom and Dad are having a bit of a date, and Jazz had an item she wanted to check off her bucket list. So I wanted to see if I could swing something for her. Hey Jazz, what are you doing?
Just a swinger. I want to be swingers.
Swingers party?
No, time George ever saw a beach was Rory's.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It wasn't Sal Beach.
Right?
So, Georgia, is this kind of a big deal? This is the first time you've ever seen the ocean in your life. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it, Mom?
Ready. Got recommended to us to go there. It had really good food and like a really good view, and literally it was down all these little side roads, and we didn't even really know where we were going. And then it's like this beach bar, like everybody's dream beach bar. You walk out and it's just perfectly on the ocean. Like we ate in the sand, basically eating sand.
Yeah.
And that was the first time she saw the beach.
Yeah, that was the first time. Yeah. Before we went to Roy's, though, my mom and I had gone to the town, because where we stayed was maybe 5 kilometers outside of the main town, and that town has a night market every night. It's kind of feels like a fishing wharf or a
there's
harbor kind of. There's boats everywhere, and kind of you just smell fish everywhere you go, and there's fish everywhere too, flapping around in buckets and frogs and squids and stuff. And like fruit galore, veggies galore. So we went down there the first day to grab a bunch of stuff for Georgia. And then you hadn't gone that day, so we went back
the next
day and brought Jazz and walked around
just in time for it to start torrential downpour.
Yeah. That was that's the rainy season, right?
Yeah.
So it was cool, like we were walking up the street and there's this like little coconut stand with these 2 little old Vietnamese ladies, and we sat down. And the one just like busted out French all of a sudden. She was just like throwing everything at me, and I was like, I had no idea. Like I know, or we've learned that Vietnam is a big French influence here. It was like colonized for like 6 decades or something, and you can see it from the buildings and the architecture, the food, the baguettes, right, are awesome. But I didn't really know that they spoke a lot of French because I haven't heard anyone. But this little old lady, she's like 70 years old, just throwing everything at me, and
Son was just like, oui.
Oh, I threw my grade 6 tele français right back. I was throwing bonjours and au revoirs, and that was it. Then we left. We always bring George's little diaper bag with us everywhere, and we stuff it full of diapers and food.
Highlight of Phu Quoc.
Yeah, best thing about Phu Quoc, you guys got to take note, is that when I was zipping up her diaper bag, it ripped. Silly, bad move, Dad. Bad dad.
And so we were literally walking out of the market, and we saw this little lady sitting sewing some jeans on like an old school, is it called a Singer sewing machine?
I think so.
I think it's called that. Like using the pedals and like turning the wheel. I am not a sewer, but I think your mom
Our moms would know. Every mom would know.
Maybe my mom. Your mom's a sewer though.
Yeah.
Anyways, and so we were like, you think so? She was like, yeah, give it to me. She like took 3 things out. She didn't even have to empty the diaper bag, and just sewed it up really fast.
Ninja.
Guess how much? Guess. 20,000 dong, which is about $1.17. Hey Nana, can you do this?
Grandma, what would you call her?
What would I call her? A seamstress.
A true
ninja. So cheap. That was the highlight of my Phu Quoc, I think. Not actually, but that was really good.
So also near our area, like right outside of our apartments where we stayed, or bungalows, there was this little cafe called Iris Cafe, and awesome. Like the staff was cool, the food was amazing. Cool location, and
right on the main drag where we went to the pool. I think it was called Paris Hotel, but that was like probably the best pool we've been to so far. It was so warm.
Oh, this might be the best pool we've been to.
Maybe.
But yeah, Paris Hotel.
It was so warm. I feel like the other pools we've been to, they're still awesome, and George loves them, but they've been kind of cold. She doesn't care though. She has a wetsuit on. We're just like, like freezing. But it's really good food, really good pool. It's just a pool day basically. It's thought it would be a beach day.
Yeah, it's kind of low season right now in Vietnam because of the weather. By usually November 1st, things start changing. Or it becomes high season then. So we were the only ones at the pool. We had the pool to ourselves, like a private party. now?
She just tried like 5 minutes ago, but I just keep looking to see if your mom messaged.
Video break.
Hello?
Oh, hello!
Hi!
This is Jazz's big sister right now that we're talking to, all the way from Edmonton, Alberta.
Look at our view.
It's so beautiful.
This is oh yeah, so scooters. We rented scooters.
So the Asia, or especially Vietnam, is like full of scooters. Everybody and their dog has a scooter. So we thought, why not? When in Vietnam, let's rent some scooters, right? And I think Mom.
You've done it before, but your mom or I haven't done it.
Yeah, and she was pretty stoked.
To rent the scooters.
And then I think the youthfulness of my mom came out. She was just like feeling young and hip, and like let's hop on.
Yeah. She got tattoos and everything. Like
Those
she got
angels.
all tatted up. We got on her bike.
Yeah, she joined the gang and she's still in Phu Quoc right now, riding around.
I'm not afraid. Yeah. It's been a ride. Everybody. I guess I had to.
It wasn't the most favorable day, like scootering around. It was wet. It had just rained. It was kind of sloppy.
And then Sean and I, so we went for a little spin and we stopped at the most cute.
No, you have to say it was a date.
Oh yeah,
our first date.
So Sean's mom came back and watched Peach, and Sean and I had a little date date hour, maybe.
In the 11 months and 28 days now since George has been born, we have not technically had a date or like
Have even
real
been away
true.
from Peach.
Yeah, like she's been in our presence for like literally every moment, at least one of us, right? So this is like our first official, not the swinging date, the swingers date at the beach. That was like 20 minutes. That doesn't count. This was like actually, we haven't been away from Peach for this long ever.
Yeah.
And then, so we hopped on the scooters, took a little spin.
Yep.
And then just when you think you're away from Peach, we couldn't get away from Peach because we went to.
Just when you think the Snowing Lady's the highlight of your trip, you find a coffee shop that's called
Peach Coffee.
Peach Coffee.
Yeah, we sat down. It was really good food.
Really good food. If I were you, if you come to Vietnam or Vietnam's not the only place you can rent a scooter. I was like kind of hesitant because I don't know why. It's because the traffic's crazy, but on the island it wasn't too crazy. Like I don't know if I would do it in the middle of Saigon. No, I wouldn't.
Not for the first time, for sure.
The only nervous part was we were like on our little scooter. You were in front of me or behind me at one point, and all of a sudden in your little tiny mirror you see this huge big truck coming.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're the only person with a scooter on the road.
And everybody uses horns.
Yeah,
like we're not used to that. So every time you hear a horn, like what's going on? Why? What am I doing?
But every driver knows there's a billion scooters on the road. They know you're there, so you just literally like focus and it was so fun.
Yeah,
Cool. Overall, what did you think of Phu Quoc?
Yeah, Phu Quoc, like going back 9 years ago, I had been in Vietnam with a couple buddies backpacking, and a friend of mine's sister had gone to Phu Quoc and had mentioned how beautiful it was. It was like the highlight of her trip. And we didn't get a chance to go at that point, so Phu Quoc has been on my list for like 9 years to want to go to.
Yeah.
And we finally made it, which is kind of cool. And it was totally worth it. I would recommend it to anyone, even though it wasn't peak season, but it was still beautiful.
Yeah.
We had great weather, we had great food, the people are so friendly. We try to plan it like maybe a day excursion or a day out and then a couple days chill. You know, depending where we are. That's why most places we try to find on Airbnb with a pool. Kitchen and pool are like number 1 and 2 for necessities, right? Because if we can't find a beach or go out, we can always hang by the pool. After leaving here, we'll be off to
Hanoi
in capital city,
and Ha Long Bay
Ha Long Bay,
for George's birthday.
So yeah, George's B-Day. We'll see you guys next week.